Lights, camera, action. People, deluded. I'm back again. Happy Friday, folks. Wherever you are in this world, big up you lot that's going to watch this on a replay. But if you're live here on Twitch or YouTube, smash the like button. Big up yourselves. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night. Now, we've been linked with Semenyo of Bournemouth. Obviously, the Cunha rumours are not going away. Neither the Zinchenko stuff. Mikel Arteta had his press conference. I can't lie. I know a lot of you don't watch the press conferences, and I bet how it's formulated on Arsenal.com is going to be very different. But Mikel Arteta sounds quite peed off, if I'm honest with you, with the questions. Like every now and then, for the vast majority, I do think he's like Arsene Wenger. Like he's very PR. He doesn't give much away. But every now and again, he seems quite antagonized and annoyed. And to be honest, I think he feels a bit, whether it's his fault or the Cronky's fault or all of our faults or whatever, pardon me, he seems quite peed off to be consistently asked the same old question, man. Big up yourself, Abdullah, and also big up you, man. Appreciative to you lot. Don't forget to follow on Spotify, and don't forget tomorrow we kick off at 3 p.m. Oh, we're gonna have to watch it on the stream. We kick off at 3 p.m. obviously against Wolves. I'll be live from 2 p.m. We've got two watch-alongs tomorrow. We'll be watching Arsenal versus Wolves, and then we'll be watching Man City versus Chelsea. After that, of course, I'll get my reaction video out for you lot. Sunday, I might do a watch along for Spurs Leicester, but definitely Fulham versus Man United, and big up Latte Firm. I think I'm going to be on their platform. So yeah, man, any talking points, questions, all of that good stuff, don't feel any sort of way about getting them in. Let me share my screen. Let's crack on, lads and ladesses. Now, Mikel Arteta said, I want a new forward, but it has to be right for the club. You know it's a popular thing when Arsenal.com are there, man. Journalists was accusing him of not wanting a forward. Harvey, I watched it, and I guess the journalist dons, they've got to do their job, innit? Like, you've got to kind of antagonize the manager. You've got to try and get a little talking point. But Mikel Arteta, for all his coaching stuff off the field, bro, my man can handle the media. He seemed quite peed off. And to be honest, obviously, I'm not a manager. I only make content on YouTube, but I get it because, like, if I relate it to myself, yeah, one of the biggest things I get annoyed with on YouTube, I don't get annoyed with who agrees, disagrees, critiques me because I talk about football. How naive would it be for me to not expect that? Yeah, I'm all for that. But you see, when like people are disagreeing with you on something you didn't say, that is what actually annoys me. That actually, not so much, but that antagonizes me because you're actually not getting onto me for what I actually said. I normally air them comments. Like even today, I reply to one every now and again. I reply to it like, even like, obviously I did big up Cecil. I did a live stream with Cecil a few days ago and I cut up clips, obviously. And then it's captured. I think the video is like an honest conversation about Arteta. My man is commenting in the comment section, like, oh, I bet you want to lose 4-5-0, this, that, and the other. He's saying bare things that I didn't say. I normally air it. I'm like, what's going on? But anyways, I think Arteta is justified, man. Like, nobody said he didn't want a striker. And of course, we're not privy to how Arteta actually views this, like actually what he thinks about his players and the transfer market and the cronkies or whatever. Of course, he'll come out and defend his owners or his bosses. Think about you lot in your 9 to 5s. You're never going to sit there and get onto them, are you? So we're never going to get the truth. I do think you can't just blame the cronkies. You could ask the question of who Mikel Arteta signed off on signing, but I think his language has changed greatly, especially with this current climate. His language has changed greatly. Boy, big up yourself, man. Yeah, but he wants to win, and if you don't have the means, he can get upset. He's allowed to be upset. The means, I don't know, but he is allowed to be upset. But that's what I'm saying. Every now and again, he's a human, innit? You're going to get peed off, if I'm honest with you. He did say, my opinion is clear. We lost two very important players in Bakayo and Gabriel Jesus, so we lack goals. So does Jesus. Big him up. Hope he gets back from his ACL injury. Saka the same. People and options in the front line, it's clear. And then he said, it's clear for the period that we have lost them. We need some help because we were short already and we're even shorter. So with Saka, Jesus. So that tells me what I thought in the summer and what I've been saying. If everybody's fit, like assume everybody's fit, everyone's available. The squad still is short. Bearing in mind, Mikel Arteta said at the beginning and end of last year, we've got one of the smallest squads. Now, some of that, he has to take responsibility. But the owners and everybody involved, for me, I'm past the point of just blaming the owners, just blaming Arteta, just blaming Edu. You can't blame Jason Ito, but blaming him. You're all in this together. I always give the example, you know. I don't know how you lot are, but I come from a big family, innit? So, like, when I used to go to my grandma and granddad's house, all my cousins are there. We're playing, we're having fun. If somebody breaks something, my grandma is not gonna sit there and say, "Who did it? Was it you?" Everybody who's in the scene is holding licks, whether you did it or not. That's how I feel about Arsenal. But he is right on that. The team is still coped with that. I guess we are second, qualified from the Champions League. I guess you're right with that. But we have to do what is right for the club. If we can get the right player, that's what we are actively looking at. But any player, no. I agree with that. It annoys me how there's this massive, magical, unique player. I think there's plenty of players that can improve us, but I don't just want to play for the sake of it. We need someone that makes us better and makes an impact on the team. Fair play. He said we have to do what is right for the club. On when asked on a striker option, it's an option, but it doesn't depend just on Arsenal, Mikel, or our will. It depends on the market and many other factors. I'd love a forward. Just get me a versatile attacker. We'll revisit the striker thing in the summer, innit? We have certain resources, the ability to recruit certain players, develop certain players, use certain players from the academy. It's a balance of what we can do. Fair enough, man. My grandma cooks me, my mum, my uncles, aunties. Everyone is getting cooked when that happens too. Exactly. No, grandma's not asking questions. Everyone who's about is holding it. Even with everyone fit, we need 4 signings, just about, maybe 2 of them just strikers. If we were to assume everybody's fit and whatever your strongest 11 is, I think we need a number 9. You need a left winger. You need another central midfielder, in my opinion. And then it's about buffering the squad. Cronkies are the worst owners in football. I don't understand why these Americans are involved in sport. They don't even like to understand. Hey, big up the Americans, because there's some owners that are American that are the complete opposite. But it's a money thing, bro. It has to be mostly down to Edu, hence why he left. I don't think he was rated and got people in that he should have. I remember breaking a glass table one time. Whole squad got heat for it. You're a bad guy for doing that, but you're right. He actually don't want a striker. He should stop pretending. He's only bought 1 striker in 5 years. I don't know that Presser was not damning. I think he's calling out the Cronkies. He's never going to smash the like button, people. He's never going to directly attack the Cronkies. But I do think when you read between the lines, his language has changed. Like he's quite mad in that. I know all of the talk is about strikers, but I'll take Douglas Luiz on loan for the rest of the season. I think he'd add another style to our midfield. I'm not against Douglas Luiz, but I would put... Who am I? I don't make the decisions, but at the end of the day, I don't agree with this. Asterisk next to his name, Kai Havertz is an option in midfield. You've just signed Moreno. You've got Declan Rice. You've got Partey. Who else am I missing? Partey, Moreno, Jorginho. Who else have you got? Ethan's come to the fore. I know he'll probably play right wing or in the 10, but you've got him. Lewis Skelly's going to have to play significantly more games at left back, but he's another option. And we're down to our bare bones in the attacking ranks. I'm not against the midfielder. I think we need one, but it would be like Arsenal to address an area. I would say midfield is a priority, but the attacking options, I think that needs to be addressed. Like that needs to be like, if you were to ask me, would I be more like if you said DG, you can only have 1 centre mid, 1 winger, 1 striker, I'd be more happier with a winger or a striker than a centre mid this transfer window. But again, the window is closing. It's the 24th. Does it close on? I think for some reason, I think this closes February the 1st, but let's just assume it closes on the 31st of January. We've got a week in it. No, DG, everyone had to get heat that day because we weren't even supposed to be playing about inside the house. There was a whole yard outside to go play, and we earned that heat. Exactly, you deserved it. No Nepan, no Cunha, no Sesko. We're actually useless at this point. Facts, wish KSE would just sell up and stick to their sports. We need an ambitious owner who will sack Teta and hire a winner. I wish Tomiyasu was as robust as Magalhaes so that we could get a real sense as to what our depth in defense is like. Do Peps really think Arteta wanted Tavares, Marquinhos, Lokonga? I think he signed off on all of them, so he has to hold that. But I think Marquinhos personally was a development signing. Tavares, to be fair, Arteta knew that was rubby because if you go and look at the article when he signed, he said that was a technical signing or that was the scouting. He basically said that was a scouting thing. The scouting department got to take responsibility for that, which is true. But and then again, we hear Mikel Arteta was the driving force behind Moreno, behind Calafiori, behind Kai Havertz, behind Willian. I'm not trying to criticize him or these players, but nobody is without fault. Everyone's got some element of dirt on their hands, if I'm honest with you. I heard the window is closing on the 3rd or something. So that means there's more time then. Admittedly, I'm unaware, but more time to get something done. I can already see the headlines. We were preparing for a big transfer window as a number of contracts were expiring. We are looking into the future as justification for no signings in Jan. Well, they're going to have to hold that. Now, Pardon me. I don't know if there's any credibility in this, but allegedly, Mikel Arteta on what he looks for in a striker besides the data. A player can score a lot of goals, great, but I want to know how he reacts if he has a period of 6 to 7 games without scoring. That's what interests me. Watch an interview of a player who hasn't scored for 6 games. Who did he score against? In what context? In the first or second half? Only with his right or with his left and his head? Only when the space is open? Does he like contact? Is he ready for the physical challenge of this league? This is very important. This is essential information when you consider the time you're going to spend with the players. Okay, fair enough. Mikel Arteta spoke on Wolves' style under Pereira. The man himself said he's been in for a few weeks already, so we already know, and I know Victor very well from previous clubs as well, what his ideas are, and it's very clear how he sets up his teams. He has had a really good impact on the team, and it will be really tough match tomorrow. They're a really well coached team, especially they are difficult to beat. The structure and the organization is different. There are certain very clear principles, what he wants to achieve with and without the ball as well, as certain players in different moments. Now they are in a different moment as well. So important. Everything is important. They've done it differently throughout matches, regardless of the opponent and regardless of the results. So that tells you about their intentions. So we will have to understand very quickly what kind of game they want to propose and what is good for us. Listen, Wolves are fighting for their lives. They've got good managers, new manager bounce. We haven't been great away from home. They did lose to Chelsea, but it wasn't plain sailing for Chelsea, if you get the point. Injury updates, people. What has he said? He said with Miles Lewis Skelly, if you don't know, there's nothing serious on the scan. So it'd be a matter of having a meeting with the medical staff today. We have a training session, so we'll see whether it's too early or not. With Willow, it's something similar as well. I think he'll be in for next week, but this week, let's see how it goes. So that means, you know what? I don't trust Arteta because sometimes you maybe believe people are not involved, then they've been involved. So there could be a chance of Saliba, but I think we'll see next week. I actually think Benjamin White will be involved against Girona and or City. And on Benjamin White, he said, "Where's the quotations? I can't even see myself." Oh, he hasn't trained with the team yet, but I think he's very close to doing that. He still needs to tick a few boxes in the next 2 or 3 days. If that's going well and smoothly, I think he'll be with us pretty soon. Boy, so there it is. Have we missed out anything? We've gone over that. We've gone over that as well. On if the window will close without us bringing in a striker, that's an option. It doesn't depend on us. It doesn't depend on just Arsenal or Mikel or our will. It depends on the market and many factors. On if there's work going on in identifying targets, 1,000,000%. On if we're considering ending one of our domestic loans, so either Neto or Sterling, no. We've gone over that. On the threat of Cunha, I prefer not to talk about individuals. I talk about the collective qualities they have, and they have a lot. Fair enough. On if there are any plans about a winter break, no further plans. On our long-term plans for new players, everything is a factor. You have certain resources, the ability to create certain players, to develop certain players, to bring certain players through the academy, everything in a positive note as well. We'll have to have our own players who probably expected to have no participation this year, but they had a lot and a very important one so far. So that's a big bonus. On how difficult it is to sign a player to replace an injured player. Well, we don't know for how long and how many games he can play. The context has changed a lot. The amount of games we have, the intensity and the demands we put on our players, it's just impossible to think that a player can sustain that. On if managers should have bigger squads. You said it at the beginning and end of last year, you would like that, Arteta. Yes, but I think we cannot resolve that situation. I think that situation as well with both the Premier League and UEFA rules have to be adapted because the schedule has adapted in a really demanding way. But the constraints that the clubs have are more limited. That doesn't make a lot of sense to continue in the direction that we want, which is to watch the best football games that we want, to have players available so that players can extend their careers and maximize their potential and for the show to continue. Okay. On if we can sell players to have a better chance of signing players. Okay, let's see what he's got here. It's all about balance as well. That depends which player it is. If that player is a player that obviously gives us space or limits us again in a certain position, it depends. The rules are quite tricky as well. It's not just what you bring in and what you sell. It's actually the resources we have available. We've gone over Benjamin White. On young Aiden Heaven, who could be going Man United or Barcelona, you know I cannot talk about anything that is individual and that is not my duty. Fair enough. And if we can catch Liverpool, he said the margins are small. We've heard that. Big up Martinelli and Trossard. On if the squad can absorb players of an older profile. Yes, it can, because I think you need to find the right chemistry and right balance in the squad. That goes with age, personalities, characters, that goes with different skill sets to adapt to very different demands that the game can throw at us. So I think the squad is in a different place. Completely off topic, people, but I believe this evening I've got a video coming out with Jordan. As you know, Jordan from Channel 4 AFTV, we did a video today. So yeah, man, make sure you're there for that one, people. It means a lot. And don't forget to smash the like button if you haven't already. I'm vexed that we're losing, Heathen. But I'm not saying he's not going, but what I would say is the game's rigged. I will say this, the game's rigged. The game's rigged. He's turned down a pro. Probably isn't going to sign that. Maybe there's... I don't want to talk too tough. Just know the game's rigged. Just know half of these, like, there's truth to some of these links, but it's not as imminent as people think. And who knows? Maybe people want him to stay at Arsenal. Close to him. But anyways, on the January market in general, that's a question for Jason. Honestly, that's not for me. I'm with the team, and the one that is managing the situation is Jason at the moment. Yeah, man. I like Aiden. I think you need to leave. If United got a clearer pathway, which I believe so, by default, their defenders are shit, go do your thing. You're not ready for first team football. Like, you need to go somewhere where you actually are going to go on loan and play first team football. Like, you're not ready for first team football at Arsenal or Man United. I like him a lot, though. I do. At this point, does anyone really care to hear about Sesko and all these things? I've emotionally checked out. Nonetheless, Arsenal transfer target, Benjamin Sesko, RB Leipzig agreement, and prospects of a Premier League switch. This will be the last stream, I hope so anyways, that I'm bored of this Sesko shit. You know, Sesko's got 8 goals in 17 appearances, so he's hard. I like Sesko, I'm having him, but he's hardly the messiah statistically. We've also simultaneously been linked with Cunha. Which one would you lot prefer out of them, Cunha or Sesko? I'm sure we would like a winger or a versatile attacker and a striker, obviously. Agreed with Arteta needing to manage his way out of this mess. Was very ambitious, letting both Smith Rowe and Vieira go. They must have had a rock-solid plan doing that. Shit. With Kai Havertz up front, the team will not win any major trophies. Cunha is a perfect player. If we can't buy, let us recall some of our loan players. Leipzig are not going to allow Sesko to leave. Unpopular opinion, I wouldn't cry if we recall Fabio Vieira, but for what? So we have a next one on the bench. Dead all of that, man. Sesko, to be honest. Nico Williams has dropped off as well. Big up my guy, Halftime Hooks. Make sure you're subscribing and following the man them. And like he said, like and subscribe. 122 inside and only 41 likes. The math ain't mathing. They're moving dyslexic, my boy. Haven going to United makes sense. They have dead players, implying that academy grads get significant game time. He could very well make it at United. Put yourself in Heathen's shoes. Lewis Skelly is basically an age mate. He's playing left back. Centre half. You've got Calafiori, Timber, Benjamin White, Tomiyasu, who don't play as centre halves, but they're all ahead of you. Kivior might not be at the club. He's ahead of you. Zinchenko might cut. He's ahead of you. I'm defo missing someone else out. Someone help me. You get the point. They're all ahead of you. At Man United, the only thing that you have going against you is experience. Malacia, his days look numbered. They're probably bringing in a left back. Maguire is better than you at this moment in time, but he might not be there all the time. Forget about getting ahead of Euro and Deluded, but then man play a back three. You might get an opportunity. And the reality is, just like with Chido Obi Martin, who I actually think will get opportunities at United, Arsenal, Man United, and these Premier League teams have money, bro. Even if Chido Obi Martin makes one appearance and doesn't cut the mustard there, he'll get sold for a couple of million quid or however much they've given Arsenal in compensation. That's peanuts for a Premier League club, a multi-million-pound business. It don't make sense. They will get Heathen, will be due compensation because, pardon me, he's rejected a pro if it goes that way. But even if, let's just assume it's 500,000. What is that to Man United? Cool, let's assume that's his price because that's the compensation, right? Smash the like button. 500,000 of compensation. What is that? What is that? If he makes it, great. If he doesn't, if they can turn that 500,000 into a couple of million, great. If they don't, who cares? So wish him all the best, man. Like, I like Heathen. I'm not gonna cry. It is what it is. So yeah, this article hasn't, I think Sky Sports has done me. Apparently the Leipzig sporting director spoke in relation to Sesko. He said There's definitely no contact with any other club, any discussions regarding Benjamin Sesko. We are very happy to have Benji in our squad. He's one of the top attacking talents in Europe and is currently in excellent form. He'll continue to wear the Leipzig jersey. Apparently, there's currently no pushing from Sesko's side to make a move happen this winter. However, he could be the one Arsenal turn to in the summer. Sesko's contract, which he signed last summer, does not contain a release clause, but there's an agreement between Leipzig and the player. Maybe I'm naive, folks, but in business, surely you need something in writing. I can leave for X amount. In business, where people move dirty, gentleman's agreement. Just say I was bad man and me and one of you lot listening, we have an agreement. What's stopping me saying no? We didn't shake hands. I don't care. Don't make sense, people. Apparently, he'll be allowed to leave if an appropriate offer is on the table. And you'd imagine there'll be several teams, especially a couple in England, that will be, trying to see what they can do in that regards in the summer. The exact amount is unclear, and it could change depending on how well he performs in the second half of the campaign. However, it is going to be north of 65 million euros. It could be up to 80 million euros. So we ain't learned nothing from that article. A good thing I found this isn't thinking. Pereira spoke about Cunha and he said he is not for sale. As we know, Nottingham Forest, Arsenal, Chelsea, Newcastle, Man United and Tottenham Hotspur have all been linked with Cunha, who the managers criticised for his body language. 1 minute he's got a new deal on the table and he signed it, then he's not. God knows what's going on in that regards, people. Their manager, who is hardly going to say anything different, says he doesn't expect him to leave. There are some rumors to saying he's not been taking part in training. There's even some rumors to say he won't be playing tomorrow. I guess we will see tomorrow. He has never asked to leave the club. He wants to help the team. He wants to be with us. Then he went on to say, he knows what I want from him. We had a conversation and it's sorted. He's ready to help the team. Fair enough. He said, we need 2 players and the club is working. Respectfully to Wolves, I don't care about you lot's transfer business. What's this? Arsenal are most interested in Cunha with time running out. Arsenal are the most interested in Cunha, according to reports, with the Wolves star still subject of huge interest. The Brazilian forward has been a shining light for the Molineux outfit, who are looking to avoid the drop this term. Cunha's exploits have attracted attention from a host of Wolves' Premier League rivals, with the Gunners among those tracking the situation. Wolves, I ain't going to beef with you. We ain't rivals, though. Come on, Wolves. Come on now. Have manners. Come on now. Anyways, Brazilian outlet UOL claimed the North Londoners have identified the Wolves star as a target and claims they are the side most interested in making a January deal happen, despite the likes of Spurs and United also keen. This is great, but are we going to... I ain't heard nothing about bids and whatnot. The Gunners have also been linked with Newcastle frontman Isak, but a January deal for the Swede is near impossible, with the Magpies demanding well over 100 million. Sesko is another target, but the Leipzig frontman only signed a new deal in the summer. It means Cunha could be the man most likely to end up at Arsenal if they do make a January move for the striker. They won't be without competition, though, as reports claim high-flying Nottingham Forest are ready to table a club record bid for the Wolves man, who is valued at 65 million. What are you lot saying? Is 65 million worth it? Because I guess 60 odd million, that's the new 20 in today's day and age. And I wouldn't cry. A part of me thinks that's fair value. A part of me thinks, 65 million for Cunha. I don't know who, but you can spend that money elsewhere. I don't know. Arsenal chiefs are understood to have sanctioned a spree of heavy spending in the final weeks of the window if they can land one of their primary targets. But you're not getting Sesko. You're not getting Isak. You're not getting Williams in January. I haven't seen Cunha's name dropped until now. I've even heard Mbuemo's name a bit more. So that don't mean nothing. Your targets are not available. So there's money and you're not spending it. It's like going to a strip club, got the notes in your hands, the galley shaking Nash, and you're not doing that. Women forgive me, but best example. Apparently, the BBC pause have claimed that that Wolves are relaxed about the 25-year-old's future. He has 2.5 years left on his contract, and discussions about a new deal are ongoing. New manager Victor Pereira is desperate to keep Cunha and admitted if in the future Cunha goes to a big club, I'll be happy for him. Surely you say to him, listen, I understand that you want to move. We're trying to stay in the division. I beg you, just put your head down for a few months. Pause. Keep it going. In May, June, July, you can move. You got 2 years left on your deal. The new contract's on the table. You haven't signed it. We'll help you get that move. Remind Clark, because for me, I know players scream and shout and do all of that, but surely, maybe I'm naive, but if you're Cunha, or let's all of you put yourself in Cunha's shoes, surely it's within your best interest to play football and just play well and remind teams that why they want you, or if teams are not sure about you, why they want you. I don't know though. Maybe I'm naive, people. Apparently, Tomiyasu spent time in Japan following his latest injury, but is now back at the club doing his work. Tommy, I miss you. Atletico Madrid, allegedly, courtesy of Sky Germany. Sky Germany talking about an English club's player who's a Ukrainian international. And what a Spanish club's trying to do. Okay, fair enough. Atletico Madrid have now entered the race to sign Zinchenko with serious talks underway regarding the transfer. Atletico are open to either a permanent deal or a loan with an obligation to buy. Arsenal values Zinchenko at 20 million euros plus add-ons, people. You would have seen him aggressively linked with Borussia Dortmund, and apparently we're open to such. We all know he's lost his starting berth and his lacked form and fitness. Fair enough, safe, man. Safe. Wait, what? Oh, that's in relation to Vigo. The 28-year-old has slipped down the pecking order at Arsenal, and where is what makes sense. He has struggled for fitness during his time at Arsenal. We signed Calafiori. Lewis Skelly's come on the floor. Calafiori's ahead of him. Yeah, Tini's probably going to sell it. So yeah, check out the last video I did. We're not going to learn anything in that regards. What's this? Jorginho apparently has an offer on the table from Brazil, and actually he's been linked with Besiktas. Me personally, I don't believe none of that at this moment in time. As I said, Sky Germany have said that concrete talks have taken place between Borussia Dortmund and Arsenal. Apparently, Dortmund showed an interest in him last summer. So why didn't he go last summer? Did Arteta say you're a key player? Did Zinchenko want to fight for his spot back? I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, he's set to leave this month. On one hand, I'm a bit unsure whether I rate Zinchenko or not because we've hardly got bodies. You know, it's one thing talking about the injuries. You might as well talk about the players that haven't had injuries. But gone to my head, I don't really like. I'm never gonna really use Zinchenko. Ironically, the role Zinchenko is in right now is what he should have been from the start. Yeah, you could argue in the middle and final third, you're probably the best of the inverted roles. But while Timber at left back, Calafiori, Lewis Skelly, the rest of them, they might not be to your level in the attacking sense. They're not that bad in the final third, and they're a lot more switched on defensively. If we assume our strongest 11, like imagine your strong. In fact, imagine your leave left back free. Imagine your strongest 10 and assume Zinchenko is your left back because that's what we saw at times. People target him. Zinchenko, you've played 80 odd times for this club. Apparently, you grew up supporting this club. Apparently, you're a strong character and voice in the dressing room. I support you for that. Big up yourself. Leave with your head held high. But bro, 2 years left on your deal. You can't help us. You can't. You could maybe be used in midfield, but there's rightly or wrongly, there's got to be a reason Pep never used you in midfield, and you haven't organically been playing in midfield at Arsenal. Safe. It needs to happen, people. And the very fact that we're in the League Cup on the basis of we've got a second leg, we're still in the Champions League. Big up you lot who think we're winning that. We're still in a fighting chance mathematically of the Premier League. Big up you lot who think we're going to win that. For a man that is a serial winner, been at City, one of the more experienced players, the fact that Arsenal even considering letting you cut in January, that speaks volumes, innit? And you weren't even Dortmund's first choice, but big you up, man. Go do your thing. We've gone over that. What's this? Arsenal wants Semenyo to replace Saka. Indeed, Arteta noted the severity of Saka's injury, leaving his side light in the area of the pitch where the 23-year-old does his best work. Wolves' Matthias Cunha is of interest at Arsenal, but sources have indicated to Court Offside that the North Londoners have put Bournemouth's Anton Semenyo on the transfer list as the main alternative to Saka. He did well against Newcastle. You're not getting him in Jan because they're going to ask some madness. Apparently, Semenyo has impressed many with his versatility for the Cherries this season, and sources understand that Bournemouth are keen to keep him in January, valuing the player at around 50 million. The Ghana internationals recorded 6 goals and 3 assists in 21 appearances, performing in a variety of attacking positions. Apparently, Liverpool have registered interest. I'm not one to believe Court Offside. Respectfully to them, I don't know if your name holds weight. We've gone over Aidan Heaven. Apparently, he was at Old Trafford. Go do your thing, man. I ain't no care about that. Anywho, is any other new ask? What's this? Oi, they definitely listen to my videos. I don't believe football. I don't believe this website. But this lad who has an un-Spanish last name is a Spanish under 19. Some of you would have seen me tweet his name. Very good centre back playing for Valencia. Stands at 6'3". You're not going to get that much game time. You'd be one for the squad. Apparently, Arsenal and Real Madrid are both keeping tabs on Valencia's highly rated centre back Jarek Gazarowski, with the Spain under-19 international attracting widespread attention across Europe. Standing at an imposing 6'3", he fits the profile of a modern Arsenal defender, dominant, elegant, and tactically inept. He is all those things, but you're doing way too much. Known for his composure, intelligent positioning, and ability to break up opposition attacks. The Valencia star that brings a physical yet refined presence to the back line. He's doing very well in La Liga this year. He's definitely got some raw stuff he needs to polish, people. So yeah, big him up. We've been linked with him. Apparently, he recently extended his deal until 2027. I'm sure his deal was expiring at the end of this season. Naturally, monitoring and scouting don't mean you're gonna buy Dons anytime soon, but I hear it, man. Away from that, Arsenal may now intensify their pursuit of Benjamin Sesko after talks for a different striker fell apart. It's led the club being linked to a host of striker targets, including Vlahovic. The Serbian striker came close to joining us, bro. I don't care about that. Tell me about now. Juventus are also said to be open to a sell, given Vlahovic has now entered the final 18 months of his contract. It means the Serie A side, who have been plagued by financial constraints, could lose him on a free transfer in the summer of 2026. According to Football Transfers, talks between both clubs have now broken down. Juventus are said to be demanding cash up front for their prized asset, with a move before February the 1st deadline now looking very unlikely. So yeah, there's a lot more days than, not a lot, but there's a couple more days than I thought. Apparently, this is the short of this, and if we go away with the waffle, a bid of 60+ million could tempt Leipzig to sell in Sesko. And we were linked with Tom Bishkoff, who did well against Spurs. I think he signed a pre-contract agreement with Bayern Munich. We were linked with him, Sky Germany. I'm not even going to read it because it'd be boring you lot, but Sky Germany have quashed that. Arsenal have Wolverhampton Wanderers Cunha in their transfer list for the winter market. We're hearing the same things. Everyone on the NAN saying the same thing. Sesko's not willing to agitate for a winter switch, so he's not going to do his part. What's the point then? Forget it. We've spoken about it, but United have made contact with Arsenal's 18-year-old Aiden Heaven. Don't want to see Sesko's name again. Napan apparently was observed at the airport on Friday. This means that he's quickly approaching a decision about his future. I didn't know he didn't go on holiday. There's every reason to believe that this is related to his football future, that Napan's goal with the trip is a club visit. I hear it. He's actually been linked with Brighton as well, who do a fantastic job with finding these players. Apparently, Karim Adeyemi has had doubts about a move to Napoli. Now, he would make me, between him and Martinelli, let alone in a team together, they'd make me pull my hair out, people. But I wouldn't be against it. So that could be one to worry about. Don't forget, people, 7:15, so in just over an hour, Jordan of AFTV and Channel 4 will be with me. I'll be live from 2 p.m. tomorrow in relation to Arsenal, people. And don't forget to follow the audio platforms, man. They spliffed my last channel, so they have to build it again. Big up, Dave. It closes on February the 3rd. At least know this if you don't want to be another BS merchant. Okay. Nico Williams has dropped off as well this season. Arteta will buy all the players who are useless. DG on Trench Talks tonight. We'll see, man. We'll see, man. Waiting on a call. Last time I went on Trench Talks, Palava. Make sure you're following Fam Zone TV. Arteta had been allowing the young prospects to leave the team. Now, if we allow Hayden to leave, we'll regret it later. Probably, but I think you're doing a bit too much. I'm only going by YouTube vids, but Sesko looks like he could be a world beater one day. United's package is better. Aiden is not guaranteed to make the top pro level. He ain't getting game time here. Get the bigger bag for security and go gamble at United. Better chance to break through. And even if you don't make it at United, you're 18. If you're there for 2 years and it doesn't happen, you're 20. Go out. You fuck off somewhere else and play. Go get your bread, man. Arsenal will not sign anyone. Hope you're wrong. Ethan is our right wing. No questions asked. Skelly, if running midfield, Skelly and Rice with Martin Odegaard in front would be the one. Euro is mid, by the way. They've been gassing him up to be generational. Saw numerous posts about Euro Saliba. He's definitely not better than Saliba, but he's quality. Hayden a waste man to leave Arsenal. You lot are doing the tribal stuff. It's okay, though. We'll waste some money on some new defenders again, and various people will be wondering why we've done that again. Only my honor as a gentleman. Only my honor as a gentleman would stop me saying that gentleman's agreement is off, bro. But in business, in the world of business, whether it's on the streets or it's people in suit and ties, bro, how far that a gentleman's agreement don't go anywhere. It needs I's need to be dotted, T's need to be crossed, things need to be in cold hard writing. You can leave for X amount. DJ, I just want to entertain the thought that we end up with no signings. What are the chances of walking out this season with a Champions League trophy? Next to none. But I'd hope to be proven wrong. You know, some Arsenal fans, not saying you, were saying bring on Real Madrid, best team of 2024, all that jazz. The owners have had no desire to win the Premier League and they never did. Boy, don't complain to me when we can't get over the line. Boy, I think the most attractive attribute Sesko has is his ball striking. We don't have that in our squad. Them outside the box shots, we need a player who can score them. I've tried directing fans in the direction of gold, and I just get vitriol. Semenyo is another player I'd prefer Arsenal to go for. But you get fans like Babs bigging up Havertz. He's not what we need. He's mid, good squad player, but not the one to get us winning. Big up Babs, man. Like, if that's his opinion, that's his opinion, man. I'm not saying Babs or anyone, definitely not. But I think a lot of these ITKs and Arsenal content creators, they were saying, and I'm not talking about no one. They were saying we don't need a striker. We got Havertz. We're going for Havertz. If he can replicate what he did in the second half of last season, respectfully to Kai, this is what I mean. People are too romantic. Kai Havertz is not. I'm not dissing Kai. I don't think he's the guy, but I've supported him. There's no way in hell you thought Kai Havertz was, just because he got 13, 14 goals last season, there's no way you thought for the vast majority of a 38-game campaign he was going to do something he never did before. You lot are too romantic. Throughout a 38-game period, there's going to be romantic moments. But like life, football at times gets ugly, and you need to be able to answer certain questions. And until we know who is going to perform in the absence of Saka, or if he's not there, until we have that striker, until we've got that squad depth, until a lot of these questions have answers, we're not going to kick on and be what we want to be. We're going to continue to be flirting. We're part of the race, but we don't get over the line. We're not going to put money down for world-class attackers. If you want us to have that money, then developing a heathen and getting 40 plus for him is how you fair enough. I do agree generally with the academy, but boy, we definitely need to do better at that. Duran would cost close to 60. I saw a report that Saudi clubs are looking at Duran, and Aston Villa have said it would take 80 plus. Would you like having for that? Get us Osman on loan for the rest of the season with a buy option. Go for Isaac in the summer if it doesn't work. We're not getting Isaac, but I like the thought process. Napoli would demand an obligation to buy. I hear that. You must have a wavy PC because you got hella tabs open. Hooks, don't join these, man. Don't join these, man. Is it wavy? 75 likes. Can we get to 100? Is it wavy? Got it a couple years ago from PC Specialist. I guess it's all right. It's all right, man. It's all right. Let's sell Zinchenko and buy Kirkez as his replacement. Bournemouth are not letting Kirkez go mid-season, and he's been linked with Real Madrid, Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea. My point of saying that is big piece. Bournemouth got some good players, man. They got Semenyo there. Their manager, I don't know, respectfully to Bournemouth, I don't know how long you hold on to Areola, because I reckon, if it's not going to happen, but if Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United, Liverpool, they're not with us, but Spurs, Areola will be someone that's linked with them kind of clubs there. Sidewinder, yo, I'm just locking in DG. Arteta was asked a few weeks back about a striker. He flat out said no. I think it was after the United game. Guy's full of it, man. All managers are liars and speak in riddles and half-truths, if I'm honest. City didn't cry when they lost Palmer until they did cry. Are they crying because they lost Palmer? Or are they crying because, yeah, he's doing well, but City have needed to act in the market for a while. Like, you need to replace Mahrez. Yeah, you could have. I don't think Aiden Heaven's the hill to die on. But fair enough. But we do need to go get better at selling youth prospects generally, man, and developing youth prospects, man. Because like one thing I'd say to Chelsea, I can't really think of a goalie, but for Chelsea's academy, it don't really matter if it's a goalie, defender, winger, striker. They're all developed to a certain level, and they're all going to get you P's. At Arsenal, we don't really do that, and let's be brutally honest. When defenders have come through, it's an accidental thing. It's man that can play in midfield or were in other positions, and they play left back or right back or whatever. We all know there's a bias. If you're a winger, a 10, a 8 kind of, you're already more likely to make it Arsenal. Like, when was the last centre back that came through? 30 centre back. He's still screaming Tony Adams. Katie loves two so far too. I don't know what you talking about there, man. I'm kind of sick about hearing about Vlahovic. I'll be real. Vlahovic, Sesko, Cunha. I'm here for you lot. I'll make the content for you lot, but it's boring. Big up Lionheart Fitness. It's boring. We're talking about the same things, the same players. And last time I checked, maybe I'm wrong. We ain't signed no one. Good evening, DG60. Looking forward to tomorrow's watch, man. Appreciate you. Funnier still, people are asking why we didn't make an offer for Marlon when he moved. Would be like going back for Nketiah. Bro, Marlon's not helping us, bro. A man said Nepan observed in airport immediately followed by their flights from Oslo to Heathrow. At this point, I just want to see players in shirts. Man said DG isn't no BS merchant. Get a hobby, buddy. And that's why I let the streets do the talking, mate. Big up that man, have him. I'm not going to be one of those that's going to be sour and say he's not going to make it because he's leaving Arsenal and going to Man United. Or like, I'm respectfully to Heathen, yeah, because I actually like him as a player. Bro, my teammate won a league in 20 plus years. We've been so close, but so far. There's injuries, there's depth, there's a lot of games to play. Who the fuck cares about some 18-year-old? Seriously. I like him. I would like him to stay. I am not. I said on Rancy Stream, like, I understand why you want to. I've never been that biased guy. You lot see the youth content vids. I don't care. Like, if you want to cut. Your name is not Lewis Skelly. It's not Ethan. It's not Max Dolman. There's a couple of players even younger than Donny. Who cares, man? Cheeto, I'd rather have kept Cheeto than Aiden, if I'm honest. Big up Aiden, though. He's a good player. I like him a lot. I'm just saying, if you want to cut, it is where it is. The world keeps spinning, bro. I'm sure City will cry about losing Palmer, but you ain't dead, so keep it moving. I'm sure Chelsea miss Musiala. They ain't died. Keep it moving. Osman will be a cheaper option, but will prove. I don't think that when you look at the wages and all that. My Liverpool view, Arteta doesn't come up with solutions, only stories, boy. When most people defend Kites because people got overboard saying how bad he is, he has nearly 30 goals in the last year and he ran the line for the team that challenged. He for me, Kai's a squad player. Like, I can criticize regardless of if I think you're clinical or not. As a professional footballer, like with a number of players at Arsenal, when you're 2, 3, 4 yards out from goal and you're missing, you need to score in it. I can't get mad because ironically you mentioned Liverpool. Do you remember before the Dubai thing last year when we played Liverpool in the FA Cup and all of them games, we couldn't score? These men are not clinical. We can hide behind 90-odd goals. When you break it down, I'm not criticizing it. I love my team, so I'm looking at where these goals are coming from. Saka, the vast majority of them are from you. Set pieces were helping us, and you lot chipped in. But let's be real. The Trossards, the Havertz, these guys, it was more purple patches scattered amongst the season. We don't have enough guys like Saka that for the vast majority of the year, you're going to do what needs to be done. For Kai Havertz, we shouldn't have bought you, even though I don't think you've been that bad. You're not been the answer. I think you are scapegoated. I do think you've been a lot more reliable and consistent than a lot more of your teammates. I actually think you're one of the first names on the team sheet for me. And I think that's the problem. I can't get at you. Shouldn't have bought you. Like, don't want to see you in midfield. I know Boy will say something. I do think people go overboard, but I can't blame you. You didn't buy yourself. Poison's good. How can you not rate Cheeto? I rate Cheeto. What I would say with that youth thing, bro, Eddie and Ke there's bare young G's who have killed all of them statistics and not gone anywhere in the game. Worrying trend developing, though, losing your better kids to other academies because you're not willing to offer the dough. If you've offered a contract and the man not want to sign, the man not want to sign. And last time I checked, is he Max Dolman? Is he Ethan and Mary? Is he Lewis Skelly? Is there a couple of young players that are even younger that nobody knows about? If you want to cut at the end of the day, like, I'm going to say it's worrying. It is what it is. You would never guess what I'm doing to your stream right now. Why for that, man? Oh, what? I block him. The fuck? We have more academy products in the league than anyone right now. Academy is doing all right. And at the end of the day, as I say, academy youths, do what you want to do for you, because you could sign for United and they're telling you they're going to play you. And you might, once you sign a contract, it doesn't matter from them. If we play you and you develop, great. If not, you're sold. At Arsenal, the same thing is going to be said. Do what you want to do. If you want to stay, if you want to go. For me, if I was an agent, I'd say you need to go somewhere. The quicker you from 18 years of age to 20 can get closer to 100 appearances and get some real core experience, the better. Because there's many, like, we focus on the guys that are actually going to make it. There's bare guys that are going to get released from clubs and they might play for Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United, this one, that one, whatever have you. And they might go on trial, or agents might offer them to other Premier League sides or Championship sides or any of that. And the managers will sit there and think like what I'm about to say now. Right. He came through Arsenal's academy. Yeah. What's he like? Boom, 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 boom. But if I'm fighting relegation and I'm trying to, and I'm fighting for my job, I might not necessarily want to put an 18-year-old centre back in that, because he might be great for 2 weeks, shit the others, and I might lose my job. So do what you need to do to be a better footballer. These clubs will, rightly so or unwrongly so, these clubs will tell you everything under the sun. Would sell Havertz. Someone in Germany wants his contract right now. Oh, I hear that, Levo. Football's too tribal, man. Havertz isn't. I think you mean a striker or creative false nine. He'd only work with a part. I think he's working right now, but that's our issue. Like, if I'm saying these things about Kai, it's what it's it is what it is. I don't know why we bought him. I don't know what Arteta saw. Again, I think the very testament to Kai, but the conversations we're having about Kai Havertz is in spite of Mikel Arteta because we dashed him up front. The plan wasn't for him to play up front. I think he's a good squad player. I think we got 88 likes. Can we get to 100? I think he can be part of it, but that's about it. You'll definitely get a few misses. But it is what it is. And Arsenal are clearly a club. We're not doing the Chelsea thing of, okay, you're not going to make it here, but boom, 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 you're going to go on loan, make us some peas. It's what it is. And we have, but we've got a long way to go, but our academy has got better. Like Saka's come through. Smith Rowe is playing Premier League football, and Nketiah is playing Premier League football. Fair enough, he came from Fulham. Mika Bereth was here for 2 minutes. He's over there at Monaco now. Akpom's at a decent club. Balogun is at Monaco. Amari Hutchinson, they laughed at him for, oh, you're leaving and going Chelsea. There's no guarantee he would have got first team football at Arsenal. Nonetheless, he's playing for Ipswich right now. Amari went Brighton, and he's gone at Blackburn and doing all right. Do what you need to do. Obviously, the Iwobi's and Joe Willocks. Haaland's doing okay, man. I just would like to see us be a bit like Chelsea and City and develop a lot more all-round talent, and sell them for a 10, a 20, a 30. It all adds up, like what them two clubs I mentioned are doing. We should have a clinical striker before Kai, just as he was in his Leverkusen days. Okay. DJ, I cannot lie. I want to see Moussa Diaby at Arsenal. He's getting paid, man. He's in Saudi getting paid. He's checked out of football, man. Wasn't he only at Aston Villa for 1 season? Nepan went to Man City. Big him up then if that's what he's doing. We just need a striker quick and fast. Hey, I would love a striker. For me, though, I think the striker thing is a needle in the haystack. It's like pissing in the wind. I think it's more realistic to probably get a versatile wide man or something. Arsenal hasn't signed a top quality striker for 5 years. I don't know how you blame the owners on that. Mikel Arteta's got to hold that, bro. He's got to hold that. Yeah, it's a madness. Because there's a correlation, man. DG, a name that nobody has mentioned is Pavides from Benfica. Took his first goal really well on Tuesday night. He's a good, solid all-round game. He's only 26. I did watch that game. I don't know enough about him. But are you only saying that because a man bagged the hat-trick? Or can you tell me 10, 20 games you've watched from him, Graham, with the greatest of respect? And don't tell me what he's good at. Tell me how he's reacted in bad moments. I want to know his weaknesses. If if he's been playing for a while, I'm sure he's flagged on the radar. City signing Marmoush, Victor. I can't say my man's name and now Napan. Doing what needs to be done. Jonathan David is out of contract in 6 months. Couldn't cost more than 10 mil to get him now. This club has no ambition. Arteta, these are the best owners. The excuse that the striker market isn't good is getting tiresome. I can't lie. We've been hearing it for years. Here's what it is. We need a multi-club model if we want to get the money of an academy like Chelsea and City. I mean, we heard rumors Edu wanted that. They weren't going for it. And Arteta said the other day he wanted that. I've said that. Not who am I? I'm just on YouTube chatting shit, but just someone that cares about the club. You can just see the way the game is going, and it's needed, really. And I wouldn't say we had that before, but we used to have the little bookie stuff where we'd get players from Ivory Coast, part them off in Belgium for a sec. They end up in North London. You know the vibes. You know the rest of the story. Again, it comes to the ownership because City want to do that. Chelsea want to do that. Cronkies don't want to do that. Their multi-club model is one football club, one NFL club, one NBA club, so on and so forth. They don't want to do that. That's why, to a degree, I try not. There's no point getting vexed about certain things. Big up Amari because whether you're Lewis Skelly, Ethan, or Amari, you've taken different paths, but you've got to the same goal. No, playing Premier League football week in, week out. Do what you got to do to get to where you need to get to. Oh, come on, man. What are you referring to? It's the hardest job in football. Finding and securing strikers at this level isn't easy. It's true, but they've known for the best part of 2 years, man. Cheeky bid for Palmer. You need Chelsea to be smoking something special to consider selling Palmer, let alone to us. Although you could caveat that and say, boy, If you're trying to buy Garnacho, you might be stupid enough to sell Cole Palmer. I know it's reactionary, considering we did see him score against us in the Community Shield, and we did buy Zinchenko and Jesus. Arteta, why didn't we get Palmer? But it is what it is. Napan's clearly, you know what, he could play first team football, but he's going to cost 10, 20 million. Peanuts for City. If he makes it, great. If not, you're going to go on loan, be sold on. They'll flip that and keep it moving. Just tells me Haaland's voice was more tempting than Odegaard's then. Chelsea second club are decent. I can't lie, they're cooking. I watched Pavidis at Wembley, scored a double against England for Greece. He had a good scoring record for AZ before going to Portugal. Don't know how he reacts to adversity, unfortunately. Put him on the list, Graham, man. Put him on the list. Omari played well enough that even if they go down, the team will be interested. At the end of the day, you're playing professional football, bro. And you've got X amount of appearances. You're playing professional football. You had a year at the in the championship. You've gone up with them. That's what you got to do. You could say if and if Saka was injured, Omari might have got his chance. There's something around that. By the end of the day, the cold hard evidence is the man cut out, went to Chelsea. Chelsea clearly are a club that sat there and said, yo, we're going to plan something for you. You went Ipswich. You're playing Premier League football. 115 FC have me so vexed all the time. I can't lie. It's jealousy at this rate. Odegaard has been trashy lately. The least he could do is make that call to the pan. We could make loan deals with Bournemouth, Inverness, or Colorado Rapids. This club just lacks ambition. Yeah, that just sounds like Football Manager. And really and truly, if you get decent talents and you're loaning them to respectfully Inverness, Colorado Rapids, or Bournemouth, they can't be that good. I'll be real, they can't. Because you're not going to, that's not the level. DG, genuine question. Would you have sacrificed Invincible season if it implied we won the Champions League? Would we still have won the league that year? And it just wouldn't be gold. Something to consider. I think we're going to have to ride it out till summer. No signings. Fans get ready. Boy, it's going to be a long 4 months. I hope we make a signing. But yeah, man, tough months so far for us Arsenal fans. We used to be on point with scouting. Yes, we did. Cheeto is cooked, though. He could have actually had his breakthrough season now. Instead, he's going to end up at Portsmouth on loan in 2 years. Bad mind, man. What I would say, though, is maybe Amarin gives him a chance. But like, if I was at Cheeto, I don't know what Man United are going to do in January or the summer. But Højlund and Zertsky are significantly more experienced than you. But if you bide your time, you might make your debut. Upon all the transfer Arteta has done in 5 years, no striker has been amongst his signings. The blame is on Arteta, to be fair. He signed Jesus. Majority of the games we draw or lose have been a lack of a clinical striker and silly defensive mistakes. It's not just that, though. We got to be... I hear you and I agree with you, but we got to be fair. Every serious club signs whoever they want, but somehow we're not. And even when we sign someone, it takes a month to get it done. It's just embarrassing. I hear that. Cheeto would have got minutes by now. I'm happy it's not my problem. The Champions League this year is a free race. Really? I will see once we get to the crunch times. Nepan getting signed by City and sent on loan to Girona just in time for the fan base to see what we missed out on. It is what it is. Big him up, and I'm sure he will show his talent in the future. But really, who cares, bro? Like, he's not, and I'm not even saying you lot, but you lot are waffling about strikers and wingers, and you're crying about a number 10 who can play in a bunch of other roles. If you want him, sign him on Football Manager. I can't lie, I bought him on FM. Some of you remember, and I loaned him out, but. It is what it is, man. If it's not a striker or a winger, I don't care. Santiago Jimenez seems to be going AC Milan, to be fair with you. So we'll have to monitor that one. On that note, though, people, we can only deal with what's in front of us. And what is in front of us is Wolves versus Arsenal tomorrow. Please make sure you smash the like button on this video, that video, and whatnot. At 7:15, so in just over an hour, if you want to hear more content from myself, Jordan, my Achilles, has, offered this time we did a video. And make sure you're following on Spotify and all the other Apple and all the other audio podcasts, audio content things, whatever they are in it. Make sure you're following on TikTok as well, man. But yeah, man, we've gone over the transfer news. We've gone over Mikel Arteta's stuff. It is what it is. I won't say I'm holding my breath for any signings, but we live in reality and then we have a bit of hope, man. But yeah, big up you lot for your talking points, differences of opinions. Some of you have been making sure we're kept up to date with certain informations throughout the live, and I appreciate that. You lot take care, stay blessed. One love, man. Mikel Arteta, if you're looking for fullbacks, though. Against this right back, Charlie.